Hi, welcome to Chemistry Unit 2, Level 1. Level 1 includes the notation, protons, neutrons, and electrons involved in an atom. All of this information is going to be able to be found on the periodic table. So let's get started with what you know. You know right now periodic table notation. Okay, this is what you used to write your note cards last time. The top number is the atomic number. The letter or letter combination is the symbol. The word is the name. And the bottom number is the average atomic mass, or AAM. The average atomic mass is found by gathering a sample of atoms and finding the average. This will mean, since it's 1.01, that somewhere there was a hydrogen atom that had a mass of 2, but it was still hydrogen. So let's talk about the other form of notation. That's isotope notation, and there are actually two forms. We're going to call them isotope notation 1 and 2. This is isotope notation 1, and it's this notation that you started on your note cards last time. Or this is isotope notation 2. Now all those letters and numbers have meaning. That's why I had you put that one number in the bottom left-hand corner so you would know what it would mean. The top left-hand number is the atomic mass. The bottom left-hand number is the atomic number. It's the number of the element. The top right-hand number is known as the charge. And then obviously the letter is the symbol. That's going to be isotope notation 1. Isotope notation 2 is the symbol dash the atomic mass. Now you'll notice that isotope notations 1 and 2 are different than periodic table notation in that isotope notations 1 and 2 could have the charge, isotope notation 1 could, and both of them have the atomic mass, but periodic table notation has the average atomic mass. So atomic mass is going to be a perfect round number, whole number. So let's talk about those things. The atomic number is equal to the number of protons and electrons in periodic table notation, or if there's no charge. The atomic mass equals the atomic number plus the number of neutrons. So how do we find the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons? That's our goal of the day, finding the numbers of protons, neutrons, and electrons from what we're given, the atomic numbers and the atomic mass. So let's look at protons. Protons are equal to the atomic number. So that means that whatever the atomic number is, that's the number of protons. It will always go with the symbol. It's the atom's number. So in periodic table notation or isotope notation 1, the atomic number is the top number in periodic table notation. So that's also the number of protons from the periodic table notation. Or it is the bottom left-hand number from isotope notation 1. Now in isotope notation 2, it's not given, but if you have H, which is hydrogen, you have 1 proton, and that is something you're going to have to know and memorize. Neutrons are second. How do we find the number of neutrons? Well, neutrons are the atomic mass minus the atomic number, or essentially they make up the extra mass in the atom. So you take the rounded average atomic mass, or the given atomic mass, minus the number of protons, that'll be the number of neutrons. So looking at isotope notation 1 or periodic table notation, it's gonna be 0. Hydrogen has 0 neutrons. The first one comes from the top of isotope notation 1 or the bottom of periodic table notation, rounded. minus the bottom of isotope notation 1 minus the top of isotope notation 1. A little confusing on neutrons, but it's subtraction. You guys can get it. Finally, the number of electrons. Electrons are the number of protons minus the charge. So in periodic table notation, there is no charge. So it's just the number of protons, which is the top number. So that top number is the number of electrons also. In isotope notation 1, it's going to be the number of protons, which is the bottom left-hand number, minus, always minus, the charge. So it's going to be 1 from the bottom left minus a negative 1 from the top right to equal 2. All right, subatomic particles, you need to know the protons, neutrons, electrons, their charge, their mass, and their location. So let's walk through this table and be sure you get this copied down in your notes. Your particles, your subatomic particles, are the proton, neutron, electrons. Protons have a positive charge, are located in the nucleus, and have a mass of 1. Neutrons don't have a charge. Okay, they are neutral. Neutrons are neutral. And they're located also in the nucleus, and they also have a mass of 1. Electrons have a negative charge. Okay, so protons and electrons are opposites. They will attract. That's why the electrons are held into the atom. The electrons are in orbit around the nucleus, and we'll explain more about the orbits later. And they have such a small mass that we actually say they have 0 mass because they don't add to the mass of the atom itself. Okay, they're actually matter, they still have mass, but they have such a small mass that it doesn't add to the mass of the atom itself. All right, we're going to do practice problems on protons, neutrons, and electrons. Thanks for watching.